Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7.
Live from Wrigley Field, and what was just going to be a beautiful day for baseball has now become somewhat of a historic afternoon. As fans remember Mr. Cub, they'll also welcome Mr. Phenom. Chris Bryant making his major league debut as the Northsiders host the new-look San Diego Padres here on ABC 7. Hi, everybody. Mark Giangreco, so pumped to be with you for this one, boys. 73 degrees, and the sunshine popping in and out here will provide a white-hot spotlight for one Chris Bryant, who we'll hear from in just a couple of minutes. We'll also sit down with Cubs president Theo Epstein, who had to adjust his game plan a bit to make way for this somewhat early debut. And, of course, words of wisdom for the young man from the mighty Joe Madden. Right now, though, let's bounce it upstairs to Len and JD. Guys, it all worked out after all, didn't it?
The weather here couldn't have been better, as you said. And, JD, this is not an event sport. We've got 154 games to go, including today. But today feels like an event.
Well, sure. Chris Bryant, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, perhaps the top prospect in all of baseball, joins the Cubs probably a little bit earlier than Theo Epstein would have liked, but the injury to Mike Olt forced their hands a little bit. Here's a great moment earlier. The family jumped on a red-eye flight from California to get here, or from the West anyway. And Chris Bryant with a big hug for his dad. It's going to be fun to watch this kid play. What do we expect short term? Who knows? He's up against a very tough pitching matchups this weekend with the Padres, but he'll contribute in a big way this year, and this kid is going to have a great major league career.
Well, he hit, 350 in college. He's hit well into the 300s all the way through his minor league career. Usually guys like that hit the big leagues too.
Yeah, there's going to be some adjustments. He swings and misses a fair bit, so the strikeouts are always going to be a part of his game. But he also works a lot of walks. He's very disciplined. It's not like he chases a lot of bad balls. If you want to put an over/under on home runs for Chris Bryant this year, I'd set the number somewhere around 25.
All right, he's going to hit in the cleanup spot today. That lineup looks a lot better with Chris Bryant right in the middle. Mark?
All right, Len, thank you, JD, as well. Boy, clean up, throwing him right in the fire. Now, you know, Chris could not mask his disappointment when he was sent down to Iowa after that sensational spring. But I guarantee you right now he's not thinking about the 3 weeks in AAA or free agency in 2021. Right now it's just all about being a big leaguer now.
Oh, man, time of my life, really. I mean, can't really put into words how good of a feeling this is to work for this your whole life and finally get that chance. But I think the journey is just starting. This isn't where I want to end. I want to win a lot of games and win for the Cubs, and I think this is a good starting point. It's actually kind of funny. We were talking about foul poles because the home run I hit yesterday, we didn't know if it was fair or foul because the foul poles are really small. So I was saying, it'd be cool if they made the foul poles a little taller. And just in the middle of that conversation, he says, "Oh, and you're going to the bigs tomorrow." So I'm like, I think he'll be great. He has a proven track record of that, and he's just a down-to-earth guy. And I don't feel like I need to walk on eggshells around him or any of the players in here. And as a young guy, that's a pretty special feeling. So, getting to talk to Joe throughout the spring and the meeting today, he's a manager that I think everybody should want to play for.
Wow, that is just awesome. By the way, Chris, we talked to the construction guys. They're going to move the foul poles here at Wrigley for you, just to spread it out a little bit. Coming up, Theo Epstein preferring to talk about the opportunity for his young star rather than the business of baseball. That and more when Cubs on ABC 7 rolls on. Welcome back to the Confines, everybody. Chris Bryant wearing number 17. Brandon Hine, the first base coach, nice enough to give that up. Shades of Mark Grace right there. Now, you know, this could be kind of a day of symmetry. Where did Chris Bryant go to college? University of San Diego. Who are they playing today? San Diego. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. But I think the pitching matchups are quite significant. Let's go back up to Len and JD with more on that.
Oh, by the way, there are 17 other starting players in this game aside from Chris Bryant. And as Mark mentioned off the top, the new-look Padres, a lot of guys added to this roster, including James Shields. We'll get to him in a second. Jason Hamill will make his home debut here in 2015.
Yeah, Jason Hamill was really good here at Wrigley Field last year. He was good in his first start this season. It came a few days ago in Colorado. Solid stuff from Hamill against the Rockies. It worked 6 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, didn't walk anybody. So important to do that in the light air of Denver, and he struck out 6. So the veteran Hamill gets the ball today for the Cubs against the newly acquired James Shields for the San Diego Padres. Here are the Hamill home numbers: 4-1 record, 2.35 ERA here at Wrigley Field.
James Shields signed a 4-year, $75 million free agent contract to join the Padres. He signed late in the winter, and interestingly enough, number 2 on his list was the Cubs.
Yeah, and boy, not a soft landing at all for Chris Bryant with his pitching matchups he's facing this weekend. It all starts with James Shields. 8 consecutive years, Shields has made 30 or more starts, pitched 200-plus innings.
So you look at the lineup with Bryant hitting 4th. Joe really likes to do left, right, left, right. He's got the switch hitter, Fowler, Soler, Rizzo, Bryant. We've seen some changes here early on in the season, but adding Chris Bryant to this lineup kind of sets it a little bit more, doesn't it?
Just puts a little more pop in the middle of the batting order, makes it a little bit more dangerous, and presents some real challenges for opposing managers in terms of the matchups late in the ball game.
And with the injury now to Neil Ramirez, that's Ramirez and Justin Grimm, couple of big right-handers in the Cubs bullpen, so an opportunity maybe for somebody else down there.
Yeah, you know, maybe Brian Schlitter pitches in more high-leverage situations. Of course, Jason Mott becomes the guy you're going to turn to in high-leverage situations, 7th and 8th innings. Phil Koch, Zach Roscup, the other left-hander, is going to get some chances now. And
Edwin Jackson, the long man, may also get some opportunities a little later in the ball game. So let's get Theo Epstein's thoughts on today and this team here almost 2 weeks into the season as Mark sat down with the Cubs president of baseball operations.
All right, back here with Cubs president Theo Epstein. Theo, it's funny how timetables don't work out. For some people, Chris Bryant's here 3 weeks too late. A little too early for you, but it all works out.
Yeah, you can't script things out in baseball. You know, in an ideal world with his development, we waited maybe a teeny bit longer and let him debut on the road away from all the attention. But this is fine. Trust me. You know, unfortunate break for Mike Holt with the hairline fracture, but you know, Chris gets his opportunity and joins a first-place team, and be nice for our fans to enjoy his debut here at home.
Okay, we've debated the service time contract free agency thing ad nauseum. You know, it's baseball and it's business. Now that he is here, has Chris shown any discomfort at all? Is he holding any kind of a grudge at all?
Not at all, and we didn't spend any time debating that side of it. It was merely how do we put Chris in a position to succeed, and you know, it ends up being today when the needs of the major league team come first. And we lost Tommy La Stella, we lost Mike Holt, and so we moved Chris's timetable up a little bit, and here he is. But no, he was humbled and appreciative when he got the news, and big smile on his face. Said hi to him as soon as he walked in the door, and he's ready to be a Cub for a long time.
All right, he's got to be jacked up. You know, expectations are sky high. What do you want to see from him just for today?
Just to help the team win, you know, work hard and be a good teammate and do something to help the ball club win the game. That's most important. You know, I never forget his debut in the Cubs system with Boise. He went 0 for 5 with 5 punch-outs, and you know, maybe we panicked for about 2 minutes and realized just one game, and then within 2 weeks he was crushing the ball and moving up the ladder. So, you know, no one's going to overreact to today's results, whether he hits a couple home runs or goes 0 for 5 with 5 punch-outs. It's one game. He needs a chance to get in, settle into the major league routine, and he'll be fine. He's a good player.
Okay, we talked about versatility, but wouldn't you want to see him at third base for a while now and not move him around?
He'll play a lot of third base, but I think sometimes people are too worried about what it means if you change positions for a couple games here and there or move over during the course of a game. He's a baseball player, And, I'm sure there'll be days he does go out to the outfield, but primarily we see him as a third baseman. I think he's going to play that position for a while in his career.
All right, Theo, thank you very much. Cubs President Theo Epstein. Joe Maddon's going to chime in on Kris Bryant coming up later on as Cubs baseball continues right here on ABC 7. Worth on this day, absolutely priceless to Chris. The little kids who get it, you're not going to be selling that one for sure. Cubs and Padres getting set to tee it up here in just a couple of minutes. Now, Joe Maddon, a long time ago, had a rookie phenom by the name of Evan Longoria make his major league debut at third base. And today he's going to repeat that process with Kris Bryant. His advice, 3 things: smile, simplify, and focus.
I said my expectations are that you play hard and enjoy yourself. Now, I think he can control those levels of expectation. I think if he does play hard, which I think he will, and that he enjoys himself, I think you're going to see a really good baseball player. If he then wants to process the day differently, then of course it can be more difficult. So part of it's my job to make sure that he remains focused on keeping this whole thing simple. To keep it simple would mean not to give him a whole lot of information regarding the other team's pitcher. Let him deal with his strengths. You just give him a couple nuggets about what the opposition may do. Defensively, it's okay if he needs to look into the dugout to be positioned and not try to remember everything about where he's supposed to be per hitter. As an example, if he has a bad day, if he had a bad day today or tomorrow, whatever, to understand that you're going to be playing tomorrow, 24 hours can make a huge difference in anybody's life. Moving forward, it's about the Cubs and us and we. Those are the real pronouns. Just enjoy the day. He's going to enjoy the day, but please understand, moving forward is about all of us.
Quite the calming influence for a rookie. So it's the first place Cubs taking on the Padres. Stay tuned as Maddon, Bryant, and the rest of the guys go for 6 right here on 7. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you right after the last pitch.
ABC7 is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. By DeVry University, different on purpose. By American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. By Dodge, born Dodge. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. What a gorgeous day for Cubs baseball here on ABC7 in the Major League debut of Chris Bryant. Just, I think, taking it all in right now, which is what his manager encourages.
Yeah. Enjoy the moment.
Well, let's get the Padres Southwest Airlines starting lineup written out by veteran manager Bud Black. And a good friend of Joe Madden. They were on the same staff together under Mike Scioscia in Anaheim. Will Myers, the center fielder, will lead it off. Derek Norris off to a good start with the bat and the throwing arm. Matt Kemp in right field. Big numbers in this ballpark. Justin Upton hit a game-winning home run the other night. Yonder Alonso's at first. Will Middlebrooks came over from Boston in the winter. Jed Jerko led their team in RBIs last year with only 51. Alexi Amarista plays short, and James Shields handles the bat pretty well. He'll hit ninth.
Take a look now at the Cubs defense, brought to you by Toyota. All eyes on the third baseman Chris Bryant this afternoon, but the rest of the guys shape up this way. Coughlin, Fowler, Soler in the outfield. Bryant is joined by Castro on the left side of the infield. Herrera second, Rizzo first. Wellington Castillo gets his second start of the year behind the plate, and Jason Hamill is on the mound.
Roster moves today. Bryant selected from AAA Iowa. Outfielder Chris Denorfia activated off the 15-day disabled list. Mike Olt goes to the DL with a hairline fracture in his right wrist, and Neil Ramirez has right shoulder inflammation, so he is on the DL. Cubs tied with the Cardinals 5-3, leading the division as Will Myers swings away first pitch. Jorge Soler over, and it's going to drop for a base hit, and Myers, respecting the scouting report on Jorge Soler, turns that into a bloop single and not at least an attempted two-bag.
Well, yeah, I think he got caught watching that ball as he ran down the first baseline, because he probably should have been in position at least to try for two here. I thought the ball was going to be caught. Perfect pitch down and away. Soler plays it on a hop. Myers really did not give himself a chance to challenge the arm of Jorge Soler, so he's at first base. One pitch into this ball game.
Padres come in 6-4. Dropped 3 of 4 to start the year, and now they've won 5 out of their last 6. Now, former Athletic Derek Norris, he was acquired in a very busy month of December for their new general manager, A.J. Preller, and he takes a strike.
Preller Palooza, they called it. He made so many transactions in a short period of time. New look club, and a club that expects to contend in the NL West. Historically bad offensively last year were the Padres. They've added some thump to the order.
Could be 2. Started by Bryant. 5-4 to 3. Nice start.
Well, that was clearly the best 5-4-3 double play in the history of this ballpark. So say the faithful here at Wrigley. But nice to get a play early in the ball game. You know, this is something this kid's been doing his whole life, probably since he was about 5 years old. But when you make your major league debut, it feels different. Legs are a little wobbly. You got some nerves, more than some, a bunch of nerves to deal with. So nice to get a little action early on. And a nice play for Bryant as they go 5-4-3. And had Myers gotten to second base on that little flare, there would have been no double play opportunity.
Now Matt Kemp, a career .323 hitter in this ballpark. Acquired from the Dodgers in December. Already 5 multi-hit games to start the season with the Padres, including a 4-for-5 against the Giants 5 days ago. and fouled back. Just underway, 2 outs, nobody on after the double play ball.
Kemp should have plenty of good baseball left in him. He's only 30 years of age. He was really good in the second half of last year, amongst the best in all of baseball.
Hamill with a 1-1, and it misses outside. First pitch weather for today brought to you by Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning. For all the right reasons, call 866-4-SEASONS. 65 degrees. That ball ripped in the left. As Kemp broke his bat, so he stays hot.
At the plate, the left fielder, number 10, Justin Upton.
Not where Hamill wants to live today.
He's keeping the fastball down for the most part here in the first inning, but that one was up a little bit and Kemp made him pay.
Justin Upton, 10-game hitting streak to begin his Padres career. Beat the Diamondbacks 2 nights ago with a game-winning home run in the 8th inning. And little did he know when he was acquired from Atlanta that a few months later he would be reunited with his older brother Melvin Jr., formerly known as B.J. Upton, who was brought over in the Craig Kimbrell deal just before the Padres opener. Melvin Upton is on the disabled list with a left foot injury. 2-0.
Always good to make a good first impression, and that certainly has been the case for Kemp and Upton with their new club. Both been red hot here in the early going, and so we take a look at our Mercedes keys to the game, and quite simply, how about neutralizing these two veteran players, both who've had a lot of at-bats and a fair bit of success against Jason Hamill in their careers. And then on the other side of it, facing James Shields, he's got a great changeup, so the Cub hitters are going to have to stay back on that changeup.
Hamill home on a 2-1. That one pounded on the ground foul past longtime Padres third base coach Glenn Hoffman. Jose Valentin over at first. Kick and the 2-2. And it's now full. Kemp will get a head start here with 2 outs. All 120 starts this weekend, and then the Cubs will hit the road in the National League Central. The Pirates and the Reds. There goes Kemp, and a high drive to deep center. Fowler goes back on it. He's on the warning track, and he's got just enough room to make the grab and end the inning. 2 hits, no runs. Cubs coming up when we return. James Shields ready to work. 6'3", 215 pounds, 33 years old. And his first pitch to Dexter Fowler, 93, on a good fastball for strike one. We'll get you the rest of the Cubs lineup here in a second. Wrigley Field debut for Shields, who faced the Cubs as a Devil Ray back in 2008, but that was at the Trop.
And most of the Cub hitters in the lineup today have never faced Shields. Fowler's got a handful of plate appearances against him. Chris Coughlin, 13 at bats. Everybody else in the starting lineup for the Cubs this afternoon have never faced him, not in the regular season anyway.
Swinging away and driving that ball to left, but it'll be caught by Upton. So Fowler lines out, and the rest of the Cubs Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Here comes Jorge Soler, the right fielder. Had a great series against the Reds. Anthony Rizzo homered for the first time on Wednesday. Chris Bryant in his debut will hit cleanup. Coughlin, Castro, Castillo. Nice alliteration in the middle. Hamill, the pitcher, and then Jonathan Herrera, the second baseman.
James Shields off to a good start. He's made 2 starts for the Padres, a no decision against the Dodgers, and then a win last time out against the Giants. 14-8 last year with a .321 earned run average for Kansas City.
Dribble to first as Alonso will make the easy play. 2 outs.
Nissan presents the Padres defensively here this afternoon. Some questions about how effective this outfield will be. Myers in center, flanked by Upton in left, Kemp in right. That's a big outfield they have to contend with in their home ballpark in San Diego. Infield of Middlebrooks, Amarista on the left side, a little wobbly on the right side with Jerko and Alonso. Norris, the catcher, acquired from the A's behind the plate, is pretty solid, and Shields is on the mound.
There's Myers in center as the Padres overshift to the right on the infield against Anthony Rizzo. Game-winning 2-run homer in the first on Wednesday night. Chris Bryant is on deck. And you know this crowd wants Rizzo to reach. For more than one reason. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. And it's 1-1. Shields from Southern California. To William S. Hart High School in Santa Clarita, California, just north of L.A.
Talked about his changeup and the keys to the game. It's always been a big pitch for him. He's got a good curveball as well, fastball with life, and he likes to cut it in on the hands of the left-handed hitters. Cutters in, changeups away. Big part of his game against lefties. Good recognition there by Rizzo to lay off that change.
And here comes the sun.
Do-do-do-do.
Could be good timing. A lot of people on Twitter are into omens. Mike Schmidt hit 4 homers on this date here in this ballpark. Ball 4.
Third baseman, number 17, Chris Bryant.
There's his dad next to his agent, Scott Boras. His dad. What a moment for him. Deep breath. Try your best to relax.
Fans are standing. A lot of them with their iPhones and other camera devices. He swings away and foul tips. For strike 1. Homered, of course, again yesterday for Iowa. 321, 3 homers in 7 games. .425 with a major league leading 9 homers in spring training. The 0-1, 0-2.
Shields goes slider or cutter and then changeup for strike 1, strike 2. Both very well executed pitches. He's got all kinds of options.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Shields fans Bryant in his first at bat. 0-0 after an inning. In the first, Cubs with a 2-out walk from Anthony Rizzo, but no damage done. Chris Bryant striking out to end that inning, and now Yonder Alonso. A lot of connections between these two clubs. You've got Hamill and Shields, former Rays teammates, both pitched under Joe Madden in Tampa Bay. Yonder Alonso was acquired by the Padres from the Cincinnati Reds in December of 2011. And then a few weeks later, the Padres then traded Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs for Andrew Cashner, who will start on Sunday. Two balls and a strike on Alonso, off to a good start.
It's an important year for Yonder Alonso. Made some noise early in his career, line drive hitter with a lot of doubles, and they thought the power would develop for him. You know, at first base, you like to see the guy hit the ball out of the ballpark a little bit more frequently than he has done. He's 27 years of age now.
Hamill's 2-2, and he got him on the inside corner. Call made by Sam Holbrook, the plate umpire. First strikeout for Jason Hamill.
Third baseman, number 11, Will Middlebrooks.
Time now for a Ford upcoming games. You see, closing out the weekend against the Padres, and then off to the road, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati next week. Strike called on Will Middlebrooks, a guy Theo Epstein is very familiar with, former member of the Red Sox. Couple of DL stints last year in Boston, and hit just a .191 in 63 games.
Perhaps a change of scenery will do him well. Because,
yeah,
you know,
I was just going to say, A.J. Preller, he didn't wait, did he?
No, he did not.
He did not decide.
It's like he was playing fantasy baseball.
Sit back and watch as Herrera makes the catch. Middlebrooks lines out.
Hey, Cub fans, let's go. The Cubs looking to make some noise here at Wrigley Field this year. We got the Padres tomorrow, then again on Sunday. Tickets are still available for both of those games. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com. I would imagine in light of recent developments, you should jump on that pretty quickly. A chance to come out and watch Chris Bryant here. Debut weekend.
One of the incumbents, second baseman Jed Jerko. And ball one inside. So Myers, Kemp, the Uptons, Norris, Shields, Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah.
It's a long list.
It's a lot of name tags in spring training. Hello, my name is Justin kind of stuff.
High and deep, Fowler back toward the wall, and he'll have room this time. Wow.
Use the whole yard, Jason.
Upton and Jerko with deep flyouts. Nice smile.
Fielder, number 8, Chris Conklin.
Lovely day at the ballpark. Whoever knocked April weather at Wrigley Field, they're nuts. It's been beautiful.
It's ideal. See that girl she had on that winter hat, that was a giveaway today. Probably don't need it today, but I'm guessing there'll be a few nights out here where that will come in handy.
James Shields to Chris Coghlan. Strike one. Got a shot of Jason Hamill kind of laughing as he walked off the mound. As Coghlan lifts one in the air to right. And Hamill got away with a couple, but you take that on a day like this for sure. One away.
Don't forget to check out the Cubs blog on abc7.com, brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide agent, serving the area for 37 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
Starlin Castro hitting sixth. Big performance Wednesday night and a win against the Reds. 2 hits, a walk, and stellar defensive work at short. And strike one called. Cubs will play at San Diego in May. Wrap up the season series. Popped up right side in the grass. It's Alonso just into foul territory for the out. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated, game used and autographed Cubs memorabilia. Go to Cubs.com/authentics for more information and to bid on weekly auction items, including game used baseballs, jerseys, bases, and much more. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics items to Cubs charities. Big cut and a miss by Wellington Castillo, getting his second start. He's in for Montero today. And Castillo's become a nice pinch hit option. 2 for 3 with a home run off the bench here early on.
Yeah, we wondered how things were going to work out with the 3 catcher rotation, and so far it's worked out just fine. I don't think Joe Madden has ever felt like he's been hamstrung with his options off the bench. Well, he's proven to give you a guy who can give you a good AB off the bench.
Good changeup. Shields locked in early. Back here at Wrigley Field, 0-0 as we get into the third inning. 2 hits, both belonging to the Padres. Amarista, Shields, and Myers against 6'6", 225-pound Jason Hamill. Grew up in Washington, went to Treasure Valley Community College in Oregon. And a first pitch strike on the Padres shortstop, who's played a lot of different spots in the major leagues. All 3 outfield spots, short, second, third, and had a similar profile coming up in the minors. Right now, he's their shortstop.
Yeah, they thought Everett Cabrera was maybe going to be the guy to hold down that position for a while. It did not pan out. Maurice is going to get a shot. Doesn't do a whole lot with the bat.
And no play for Bryant on the deflection off the base, so Amarista is aboard. Yeah, he came up in the Angels system.
Little guy, 5'6", good defender, versatile player. Gets started with an off the base hit. Give James Shields a chance to bunt him over here.
He probably doesn't want to, though. Though he's now in the National League, he can swing it a little bit. Runner going, ground ball to second, and safe there, out at first. So there's your sac bunt, a fielder's choice.
Yeah, play a little hit and run.
Actually, it's not. It's a 4-6-3 put out.
Yeah, and Joe Madden contemplating challenging this one as these guys review it. We'll see. Safe or out. We're quickly unloading to Castro. No harm in trying. You still have time if you don't get the out at second, unless Castro gets upended. Look at Shields at first, as they did. Ooh, man.
I guess
they're too close to overturn, right?
They're not going to ask for a review. That shot, it looked like he was out, but it was very close. And as we've said before, it's not just was he safe or out, it's was he safe or out. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's a criminal trial, not a civil trial. You got to have evidence to overturn. It's too close to think that they would overturn it, or whatever. If you call it safe or out, that would be difficult to overturn as well.
1-0 on Myers. He's heating up. Didn't do much their first 4 games, but now 10 for his last 23. Had an injured wrist last year, and his numbers went way down after he was the American League Rookie of the Year with the Rays in 2013.
Ballyhoo prospect, not unlike Chris Bryant.
We should note that was a good frame job by Wellington Castillo. We hear a lot about Montero and Ross and their pitch framing abilities. A nice job by Castillo, and Hamill buries that breaking ball in the dirt to get Myers. 2 outs.
Watch Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning, weekdays 4:30 to 7 a.m. with Judy Sue and Terrell Brown.
Now Norris, who has been a workhorse behind the plate here early on for the Padres. Tim Fedorovich is on the disabled list. Right knee surgery in March. Norris has been really good back of the plate. He's thrown out 6 of 12 would-be base stealers. That's a 50% caught stealing rate. He had never caught more than 20% in his first 3 seasons with Oakland.
Was an all-star last year. Hit .270 with a .361 on base percentage. Hitters go over the scouting report on Jason Hamill and see a guy who leans heavily on a fastball slider combination. He does also have a curveball and a changeup.
Will Nieves is the backup. He's started 1 of their first 11 games. Inside almost hit him.
That's good execution of an 0-2 pitch there. You're trying to open up the outside corner, throw a little runner in with 2 strikes. Make that hitter aware of both sides of the plate. And you can go slider away here, or maybe even double up inside. Go back in with a fastball and try to jam him.
Amarista in scoring position with 2 outs. Kemp is on deck. Bounce it to Castro, charges and throws to Rizzo in time to end the inning. Hamill, Herrera, Fowler due up in the bottom of the 3rd. 0-0. Xfinity. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Jason Hamill, 2 hits on Saturday at Coors Field. So he's hitting .667. To get his career average all the way up to 131. Drives this ball out of the left center, and it'll get down. How about an extra base hit? Hamill racing into second. He's got a double. It's the 5th double of his career, and he's 3 out of 4 now to start his season.
Time to renegotiate. He's a two-way player all of a sudden. Cubs pitching staff figures to be pretty darn good, helping themselves with the bats. Little cutter, thigh high, and we'll put a good swing on it. First hit of the day. I would say ironically, but you can't say that when a guy's hitting .667.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, well, of course that should happen. Herrera bunts and hits it foul. This is Jonathan's 5th consecutive start. The Cubs, by the way, today with Chris Bryant, have now used 5 different starting third basemen in 9 games. Foul again.
Herrera's mission here, trying to advance Jason Hamill to third base. A couple of ways to do it. Try to pull the ball on the ground to the right side, or drop a bunt down, as he has tried on 2 occasions now unsuccessfully. We've seen him show bunt a lot so far here in the early going.
Hamill with the Cubs' first hit off Shields today. Fowler on deck, and 0-2 on Herrera. Off the plate outside. Two and two.
Shields appears to be one of those guys that'll throw any pitch in any count. You can't sit fastball against him. He's shown the ability to throw that changeup exactly where he wants to.
This year made his 7th career opening day start. And his first win as a Padre on Saturday against the Giants. Good take. From 0-2 to 3-2 with Fowler on deck.
What happens when you're in James Shields' situation, you get ahead of the hitter 0-2, so you start thinking punch out. You're trying to keep the ball out of play so there's no chance for Hamill to advance. You get Herrera to expand the zone, and Herrera does a nice job working his way all the way back.
A 3-2 bunt, and he throws it away. Hamill will score. Jerko will just hold on to it, and the Cubs lead 1-0. You love that 2-strike bunt, don't you?
Saw Billy Hamilton try it here the other day for the Reds. What an interesting at bat for Herrera. You think maybe he'd lose confidence after trying to bunt twice and not able to get it down, but he trusts his ability to do just that, and this time he delivers. Shields has plenty of time, hurried that throw when he did not need to. And the big fella comes in to score the first run. Time to go hang out in the dugout and regroup a little bit.
Guessing sacrifice E1, even though Herrera was really trying to bunt for a hit. Fowler shows bunt. Why not after that throw by Shields? 2-1 the count. Padres have now allowed 8. Well, it's unearned at this point. It might end up being earned. They've given up 7 unearned runs going into action today. The Cubs are the only team in baseball that has not allowed an unearned run. Well, they didn't love that call. Again, depending on how this inning plays out, that run may become earned.
Oh, ball's not a strike.
On the ground, that will get Herrera to third as Alonso slipped. It'll go 3-1.
Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7 is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
So for those fans who are not quite on board with the pitcher batting 8th in Joe Maddon's lineup, it's interesting, isn't it? You see a prototypical leadoff guy in Fowler, and you're expecting the prototypical number 2 hitter, and then you go, oh, it's Jorge Soler or Anthony Rizzo. And I don't think a lot of opposing pitchers necessarily like this. And that's the idea, is to get the guys in the middle an extra plate appearance or 2. Infield in. And outside on Soler.
Yeah, and get some extra RBI opportunities as they work their way through the batting order. Second, third, fourth time in a ball game. If that 9-hole hitter is adept at getting on base, it will create more opportunities. That's the theory.
1-0, fouled back. Justin Upton playing very deep out in left. So much in center and in right. Respecting Soler's power. If you're playing for line drives, that's probably where you should play out there. The 1-1. On the inside corner, 1-2. Soler not happy with Sam Holbrook's strike zone.
Sam's been a little wide. We'll take a look at our Xfinity pitch tracks. So a little leeway given earlier outside, this time off the inside part of the plate. Got to deal with it.
Shields does not stay at the set position for very long, does he? A lot of his pitches from the stretch. It's not a balk, but it's about as close to it as you can get. Three and 2. Well, when in doubt, he goes to the change, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's especially if he feels like he's got a guy in an anxious moment, an aggressive situation, got a man on third base. We talked a lot about how disciplined Soler is, but guys like Soler get paid to drive in runs, and more times than not, when push comes to shove, they're in swing mode, a chance to drive in a run, and that changeup is just so hard to pick up. Hitter sees fastball and just 6 or 7 miles an hour off of his heater.
Rizzo walked his first time. Everybody back and shifted against Rizzo with 2 outs. Bounced foul over the Padres dugout. The contract Shields signed, 4 years, $75 million, the largest free agent deal in Padres history. And he said his decision came down to 2 teams, the Padres and the Cubs. had reportedly offered 3 years. Another foul. Here, Brandon Hyde, who has a new uniform number. He was number 17. And he's now number 16. Chris Bryant now wearing 17.
I bet you those are selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, I would agree. How do hotcakes
sell
these days?
I'm just going to ask you that. What
was there a time in our history when hotcakes were really good sellers?
I think so, yeah.
They're selling like gluten-free waffles as Herrera was dancing off of third, and Shields, because Middlebrooks is way off the bag, just decided to run at him.
Yeah, if it was kickball, he could have thrown the ball at him, but they don't allow that here. This is a pitcher blitz right here.
Herrera halfway down the line, and now Shields does it again.
Yeah, well, I'm going to see if Buddy Black moves Middlebrooks back towards third base.
He's not going to do it. 2 strikes. The Padres assume Rizzo will not try a bunt.
So if you're Shields here, you've just got to disregard Herrera. Easier said than done.
Gets through, and Herrera's going to score. How about that? 2-0.
Defensive implosion here by the Padres in the third. The throwing error by Shields, and I think Herrera really got in his head there and influenced his pitch. And this is on Norris, who should have blocked this ball right through the 5-hole. But I think Herrera had everybody's attention. Perhaps Norris was peeking at Herrera as that pitch was being delivered.
A passed ball charged to Norris, and now Shields goes back to the windup. And his 2-2 to Rizzo is outside, and another full count here in this inning. That's got to be a wild pitch. It hit the dirt first. They'll change that. Strike 3 called.
Big zone.
And that'll end the inning. Cubs get 2 to take the lead. Cubs leading 2-0. Jason Hamill with the double. That was the only hit of the inning. Jonathan Herrera, a nice bunt. Some good base running as well. And scored on what was changed to a wild pitch. 2 strikes on Matt Kemp. The hitters just have to know they're going to get the corners today.
Yeah, and it's up to the pitchers and catchers to recognize that and keep banging away out there. No sense giving in over the heart of the plate when you get those pitches off the edges called.
And as a pitcher, you're going to live out there, right? On a
yeah,
day like this.
yeah. You know, it's funny. There are times when from my era, the best guy was Frank Puller. Real big zone. And so you throw out there, you get strike, and then you start to feel a little, probably taking advantage of Frank. So you kind of give in a little bit and throw it over the plate.
You felt
which is probably stupid. Well, you just think, if I keep going out there, he's going to get annoyed with me. You felt like he was giving you something.
I gotcha.
Right? So it's like, gee, and every time he'd call a strike on the hitter out there, the hitter would be mad at him, the opposing dugout would be mad at him. So it was that kind of weird thought process you had that, well, maybe I should not try to be too greedy, which was probably dumb, but that's kind of.
I understand what you're saying. The guy's going to give you that part of the quote strike zone. You don't want to make him look bad, right? So 1-2. Bounced foul.
Watch the show everyone in Chicago is talking about. Chicago's most watched local talk show, Windy City Live, weekdays at 11, only on ABC 7.
Upton and Alonso to follow. Hamill home, and Kemp pops into right. Soler will come in, sunglasses on. 1 away, one other game going on this afternoon. White Sox in Detroit, tied at 1 as they play the 7th. Jeff Samardzija and David Price.
Hitting
pitching matchup.
Left fielder Justin Upton.
Everything else in baseball will be later this evening.
That was a pretty aggressive fastball right there, right over the heart of the plate. Now that you got the jump on Upton, start to do your work off the plate either with that fastball or slider.
Inside.
The American Heritage Dictionary of Idioms says that the term selling like hotcakes was born in the mid-1880s. And the church bake sale was as popular as today's farmer's market. People bought the treats quickly, pancakes, because they were hot and they didn't want them to get cold.
Two on Upton. Called strike 3, 2 outs.
Perhaps thinking they would come inside, maybe looking slider.
Number 23, first baseman.
Frozen on that good 94-mile-an-hour heater by Hamill. That one was on the corner. So
kind of like frozen hotcakes.
Yes.
A lot of conversations, short ones, between the hitters and Sam Holbrook. Padres scored 535 runs last year. That may seem like a lot. It's not. Last in the majors. So that's why they had to retool their offense. Came in today 4th in the National League in runs per game.
Yeah, Petco Park, their home ballpark, obviously is a tough park to hit in, but they should do a whole lot better this year with new guys in the lineup. Team batting average of 226 for the Pods last year.
I mentioned Jed Jerko led their team with 51 RBIs in only 111 games. 3-2. Middlebrooks would hit next. Hamill again, and Alonso stays alive.
Every Sunday afternoon is Kids Sunday here at Wrigley Field. This Sunday, after the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will be allowed on the field to run the bases. For more information, visit Cubs.com/Sundays. You got to have a wristband to do that.
And he walked him.
So strikeout victim last time. He's off that riding fastball, clearly off the plate. Jason did not issue a walk in his first start of the year at Colorado. Struck out 6, didn't walk anybody. Very good year for Hamill last year, especially his time with the Cubs. Struggled a little bit after joining the A's, but then bounced back and finished strongly as well. His strikeout rate last year significantly better than his career mark. Same for his walk rate. Generally, when you strike out more and walk fewer, good things happen.
Oh, 2 on Middlebrooks. Long pause by Hamill.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh. Pretty good looking pitch.
Runner goes, and that ball drilled the other way. Soler going after it. He's not going to get to it, and it is out of here. A 2-run homer. Will Middlebrooks to tie the game. His second of the season to the opposite field. And we're deadlocked.
Well, Middlebrooks has had 2 good swings today. Lined out last time up, and here he goes oppo.
Second baseman Jed Jerko.
Almost went back outside on him. This one up just a little bit. Not a bad pitch, but a real good swing.
So a 2-out rally, a walk, and a home run. After a quiet start to this inning for the Pods. Jerko fouls.
Yeah, and what really annoys you as a pitcher is the 2-out walk to Alonso. If you're Hamill, he'll tell you that bothers him more than the home run.
Bounce to Chris Bryant, who's going to lead off the bottom of this inning. We're now tied at 2-2. Well, Middlebrooks, with only the third home run against Cubs pitching, tied for the fewest allowed with the Tigers. There's Chris Bryant, who struck out in his first career at bat. It's another opportunity. And a strike call.
Yeah, he got schooled first time up by the veteran Shields. Took a pass at that cutter and then nasty changeup, followed by another nasty changeup, and it was a quick 1-2-3 AB for Chris.
Roll one out front, and he rockets it into the Cubs dugout.
The thing that really impresses you about Chris Bryant is he has easy power. I mean, it's not like he's taking a huge swing. It's a nice pass through the strike zone, and the ball explodes off his bat. Big, tall guy with leverage.
55 career homers in the minors, 181 games. Hit .353 at the University of San Diego. As I mentioned, .425 this spring.
Shields has got him in swing mode right now. I suspect he'll take a shot or two out of the strike zone, see if he can get Bryant to chase. Did Chris strike out 4 times and five times right in his first professional game?
In his Boise Hawks debut 2 years ago. The last big leaguer to debut as a cleanup man was Jose Abreu last year with the White Sox, but a veteran guy from Cuba, a little bit different. 2-2. Pitch to Bryant, misses the outside. It's 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Again, that's that changeup from Shields that's been nasty today. Third consecutive punch out.
At the plate, left fielder,
It's kind of an oxymoron, but it's a power changeup. He throws it pretty hard. I mean, he really sells it. Watch his hand come flying through there. It's very difficult for a hitter to recognize that pitch.
See that at bat. 7 pitches. He did not throw anything completely inside that box against Bryant. Ball 1 to Coghlan. Now 2-0.
Coghlan's had the most looks of anybody on this club against James Shields. He's 5 out of 13 against him, plus 4 walks.
It's been a good week for Coghlan against some of these opposing starting pitchers, right? All that success against Mike Leake. Now James Shields. Taking all the way, it's 3-1. He walked him. MLB.TV Premium is #1 for streaming live sports. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
That 3-1 pitch right there, great example of just how unwilling Shields is to give in. Coghlan up there was not a power guy. 3 balls and 1 strike, and he tried a changeup, and it was one of the few bad ones he's thrown today.
He's got a terrific pickoff move, maybe the best in the game for a right-hander. Shields has 31 pickoffs in his 9 years. That's the most of any righty since 2006, and all time it's 12th on that right-hander list. Low for a ball.
So he's pretty quick to home plate. Norris has been throwing the ball well, so the straight steal probably not much of an option, but Madden has shown an inclination to start base runners, play hit and run here in the early going. This would be a good combination. Castro at the plate.
Home run swing came up empty, 1-1.
Pulled off a slider. James in 2011 led the major leagues with 11 complete games, the highest total since the big unit in 1999 had 12.
His most popular nickname is Big Game James. I suppose at times in his career that's been true, but last year with Kansas City in the postseason he made 5 starts, had an ERA in the 6s. But maybe the big game part of it is just I like to pitch complete games and eat up a lot of innings. As you said, complete game James.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value in that. Strike 3 called. He got him on a breaking ball.
Right, we hear that term innings eater a lot in baseball, and I think that can be overplayed. What you want is quality innings. And that's what Shields gives you. He gives you a lot of innings, but it's quality work.
Castillo, he struck out his first time. Brewers have placed Carlos Gomez, their all-star center fielder, on the DL. He's got a strained right hamstring. So it looks like Gerardo Parra will take over the playing time in center. Brewers are in Pittsburgh to start a weekend set. Jimmy Nelson, Jeff Locke tonight. Johnny Cueto and Michael Wacha. Reds and Cardinals in St. Louis a little later. Strike 3 called. 3 in the inning, 7 on the day for Shields. We're deadlocked at 2.
Alexi Amarista.
Tie ball game. Cubs with 2 in the 3rd. The Padres came back with 2 in the 4th. Jason Hamill back to work. Mark Giangreco back to work.
Yeah, it's great to be up here, guys.
Great to have you with us, Mark. So 2 broadcasts here on ABC7. We had the first day game here last week against the Cardinals. The Cubs a shutout winner. And today, Chris Bryant's debut.
Cardinal opener, huge ratings. And then we luck out with the Chris Bryant debut. Boy, his dad's a character. Talking to Mike Spike Bryant down there in the stands. You know, he was a minor leaguer, said he had about 400 at bats down in the Florida State League and elsewhere. He said, I feel like I'm in the show watching this. It's just fantastic. By the way, I was in the commissary. I heard they had hotcakes, but got there too late. They're gone.
They were selling
gone
like hotcakes.
Yeah. This is spectacular. I think I can see my house from here.
Bryant will throw to first. Here you go, Mark. Here's the promo read. You ready?
Hey, watch Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News, weekends at 10 with Ron Majors, Kathy Brock, Cheryl Burton, Jerry Taft, and that other guy. ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Can I talk shop for a moment?
Yes,
James
absolutely.
Shields at the plate.
Sure.
The local newscast and sports has been squeezed.
Absolutely.
But yours really hasn't been like other people, and I think it speaks to how great it is. You have a lot of fun with it. You give the basic news. Chicago's a great sports market, but you don't see a lot of people do the sports for as long as you do and as long as you've done it.
Well, I appreciate that. Usually it's about 3.5 minutes. Sometimes it's 2.5 minutes.
What was the longest it ever was?
About 4 minutes.
Okay.
4:30 some nights when they say, hey, we don't have anything. Now it's breaking news, developing story, live. But, you know, we jam it all in. It's a challenge to get everything in, as much video as you can, and play with it. I mean, in this day and age, everybody has access to the exact same information, the same video, the same sound bites. It's the way you write it, produce it, present it, and we never take it seriously.
Is this one of those times of the year, and I suppose the fall, when you have baseball and football together, but this time of year with the Bulls, the Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, this is a great time of year for sports.
It's really insane. I mean, it gets day after day after day. Where am I today? What are we doing? Where are we going? But, you know, I'm a huge hockey fan. Ooh, nice throw.
Close, but Myers beats it. Bryant did all he could.
Boy, James Shields was getting spooked there by Herrera.
Yes, he was. He was. I figured sooner or later somebody would drop one down here on Chris Bryant and see how the big guy could handle a bunt, and makes a nice play, but Myers with good speed able to beat it. It's one of the questions about Chris. He's really tall for a third baseman. Will he be able to stay at that position?
Yeah, you talk about how that's advantageous at the plate. He's got that smooth, easy swing. But I saw him in spring training where he was bending over to field ground balls instead of bending his knees, you know, just kind of basic stuff like that. But he says he likes the outfield. I don't know. I talked to Theo earlier today, and do you want to be moving him around like that?
The Cubs are big proponents of guys having versatility, and I think he picked them off.
He did.
Oh, safe. The ball got out of the glove of Rizzo, so Myers is safe. Originally, Bill Welke said he was out. But, Mark, as in the NFL, you got to complete the process.
I guess so. Anthony looked like he was giving him a little high five with the glove there.
Oh, yeah, never quite had it.
No.
He didn't realize he didn't have it. He's showing Welke his glove, thinking the ball's in there, and it wasn't.
We're looking for the Hawks to go up 2-0, and I think the Bulls are going to sweep the Bucks. And then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. And another throw by Hamill over to first.
So do you ever have to go in and lobby? Give me another couple minutes tonight.
Are you kidding me? It's every night. Although Doug Whitmire, our executive producer,
stop working me so hard, man.
Well, Doug Whitmire is our 10 o'clock executive producer, and he's a big sports fan, and I'm lucky. So we have to negotiate for time here and there. You know, it's a constant battle. You just got to get it all in.
Oh, what a stab by Bryant.
There we go.
Yeah, kid's all glove and no bat.
Send us to break, Mark. Thanks for stopping by.
Cubs baseball on ABC 7. Do not go away.
was so cool to see Chris and his dad, Mike, embrace as Chris walked onto the field for the first time earlier this morning before batting practice. Dad very proud of him after that catch.
Mike, as Mark mentioned, Mike, a former minor league player, he's a hitting instructor, and obviously spent a lot of time helping Chris with his swing over the years. Talking with Mike, when Chris signed, he was out on the field, and Chris took BP here a couple of years ago, and man, he'll talk hitting with you, his theories.
By the way, great to have Mark Giangreco in the booth with us and hosting our pregame today. He is awesome. Love me some Mark Giangreco. We didn't even get to the New Year's Eve coverage, which we will next time. Caught by Upton. Boy, Hamill in a bid for another extra base hit.
He's out of control.
Second baseman, number 19.
Lively competition among the pitchers in terms of their hitting this year.
You know, and it might be safe to say, had he not doubled in his first at bat, he would have doubled there. I have to believe Upton played him a little deeper than the first time.
Probably, yeah.
I asked Hamill about the toe tap the other day, and he basically said, I don't think that's what it is at all. He couldn't explain it. He just laughed. I was trying to give him all this credit for getting hitterish on us. And I don't think he really wanted to think. Keep swinging the bat.
See it and hit it. Don't think too much about it. See the ball, be the ball.
That's true. And Herrera's on. Reached on an error his first time. Time now for the out-of-town scoreboard. It's brought to you by Dodge. The White Sox are out of town. Jeff Samardzija very good today, but a 2-1 Tigers win. I believe Jeff got a no decision. He did.
Yeah, he and David Price both 8 innings of 1-run ball. Soria won it. Zach Duke took the loss.
Game-ending hit, Jose Iglesias. So the Tigers are 9-1. The first team to 9 wins. Kansas City, after starting 7-0, has lost 2 straight. Samardzija start today probably brought back memories of last year for him. What do you have, 2 wins and he was an all-star because of his stellar earned run average? I'm trying to remember, did he go into June without a win last year?
I don't know.
Find that out pretty easily. 2-1 on Fowler.
Time to put on a little run and hit if you're so inclined. Just thinking about it.
Jeff's first win last year came at San Francisco in his final start of May. His ERA was in the mid-1s around that time. Drilled into center and a base hit. Herrera's going to stop at second.
Hamill hit his ball hard for an out, and a couple of singles to put a little pressure on Shields. A good pitch, but a good swing of the bat by Fowler. Staying on that. Solid line drive single. One out, here comes Soler.
The value of the Cubs' patience as an offense is subtle. James Shields is nearing 80 pitches, and we're here in the 5th inning. And while Benoit and Kimbrel at the end of the game have been terrific, the Padres have had some issues in the middle. So you'd like to get into that bullpen here as quickly as you can and away from James Shields. The middle and into center, a base hit. Herrera's going to score. Fowler will end up at third. That ball was scolded by Jorge Soler, and it's 3-2. So they get the lead back after the Padres tied it in the 4th.
Fowler and Soler getting their third looks at Shields here, maybe starting to figure him out a little bit. This is a rocket. Got a piece of him. He still had plenty of momentum to carry on out to the outfield. Maybe the wrist and the glove hand side.
Three consecutive base hits, and the Cubs lead 3-2. Rizzo has walked and struck out looking. First and third. Ground ball off the bag in the right. One run is in. Soler's going to be held at third. It's a double for Rizzo, and here comes Bryant.
Cubs had one hit coming into the inning. Now they've got 4 in a row as Rizzo whacks one down the first base line. Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, out for a visit with Shields. And everybody up on their feet for the Chris Bryant at bat. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Chris Bryant. Oh, no, I mean the Chicago Cubs. Interesting, Jed Jerko, the young second baseman of the Padres, was looking in to Buddy Black and signaling the 4 fingers. Should we put him on? We're going to pitch to him.
Infield in, not all the way, and a swing and a miss.
Shields has owned him so far this afternoon. Easier said than done, but the situation requires slowing things down, calm it down, don't let the moment get the best of you. Always the challenge for a young player when he first comes to the big leagues.
Nearly hit him. I want to welcome those viewers on the MLB Network checking in on Chris Bryant's plate appearances today. He has struck out in his first 2 chances. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Second and third, 1 out. Cubs with their second 2-run lead of the day.
He pops one, this place will go crazy.
His bat has not been late today, has it? When he's made contact, he's pulled it way foul.
Yeah, he's been quick. He's been out front.
See Shields in so far in this at bat. The kick and the 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Awkward cut there by Chris. 2 away.
As we mentioned at the start of the ball game, this is a tough assignment. All weekend long, it's going to be a tough assignment. The Padres are rolling out some very good starting pitching in this series.
That was a cutter.
Just an example of a veteran pitcher taking advantage of an anxious young hitter.
So 8 strikeouts for Shields. Coughlin knocked down by Norris. Well, in Boise, 0 for 5 strikeouts, and then he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot going on. I mean, he flew it. The Iowa Cubs had a layover at O'Hare today. That's how Chris got here. Came in with the AAA club. He had a home run for them last night. Got to the ballpark this morning. If the players, everybody else was already out on the field when he got here. He was able to get dressed, get out, take some ground balls and some BP. It's been a whirlwind day for him.
1-1. I'll make a bold prediction.
All right.
You mentioned all the complete games James Shields has thrown in his career. He will not complete today's game.
I'm with you on that.
Looks like he's running out of gas.
88 pitches now, but the point you made earlier was spot on. The Cubs, when they're not drawing walks, they're still working deep counts.
Right-hander Brandon Maurer is up in the Padres bullpen, but right now he's just watching. RBI hits from Soler and Rizzo. So the pitcher batting 8th has worked out very well today for the Cubs. Not only because of Hamels at bats, but Herrera, kind of that second leadoff hitter in the 9 spot, setting up this inning. Joe left the door open to hit the pitcher 9th when he thinks that guy may go deep into a game, but I'm not so sure. You could see this a lot more often than not.
Well, off a tough pitch there, did Coughlin. Shields walked him last time up on a high 3-1 changeup. Again, as a hitter, that tells you that you can't sit fastball any pitch in any count from Shields.
And he struck him out for his 9th punch out of the day, but the Cubs retake the lead. It's 4-2.
Clark's Crew, presented by Jewel Osco, is the official kids club of the Chicago Cubs. Team up with Clark as a member of Clark's Crew and receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise. Visit Cubs.com/Clark to sign up today and be part of the fun all season long.
All right, so I got a tweet. The fans want to know, why did I get the big logo here?
I didn't even notice.
I guess the ABC 7 logo is based on ego.
You got a big ego.
I guess.
You got a big logo. You got a big logo, my friend.
The answer is I don't know. But
people notice everything.
Yes, the apparel comes in all shapes and sizes. Same with the logos.
Demand a big logo.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. But that is a Mike flag right there. You get the Gene Rayburn, you know.
Then next, the left fielder, Justin Upton.
Match game.
Yep. Jason Hamill's second start, trying to improve to 2-0. Michael tweets, I just assumed you were much smaller than JD. That's it. Yeah, the logos are actually the same size. It's just JD is larger than life. Did you get some new glasses too? That was another question on Twitter.
Yeah.
People notice these things. Hammered into the left field corner, foul by Upton.
Hamlin now working with a 2-run lead. He made quick work of Kemp, one dangerous hitter. Now he's got Upton up there. Important inning for him here as he works the 6th, the middle of the order, getting their 3rd look at him. He's made, counting today, 13 career starts against the Padres, his most against any National League club. Although it's a new look Padres. A lot of these guys don't have a lot of experience against Hamlin. Upton does. He came into the game 8 out of 29 with a couple of home runs against Jason.
3-1 driven in the air the other way, and it's deep. Soler on the warning track makes a catch. That's the 3rd flyout to the warning track today, as Hamill was smiling earlier, but right now he's shaking his head going, man, I'm getting a little fortunate today.
Get your first alert weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Jerry Taft and Meteorologist Cheryl Scott, only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
2 down, and it'll bring up Yonder Alonso. He's enjoying some sun on the rooftops. Alonso struck out in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th.
Three-two fastball off the plate last time up, and Alonso worked the 2-out walk in front of the home run by Middlebrooks.
On a bounce to Herrera. Fields it cleanly. Speaking of clean, a 1-2-3, 6th inning for Hamill.
We are back. Cubs to bat here in the bottom half of the sixth. They lead Sandeesi 4-2. Jason Castro, 0 for 2 today, steps in against James Shields.
One ball, no strikes to the shortstop, Starlin Castro. 25 years old and already 856 career major league hits.
Beautiful day at the ballpark. Folks enjoying the sunshine. That little one got herself a souvenir. High fives, a lot of attention. Oh, she just couldn't take it anymore. She's like, that's cool and everything, but I want to meet Chris Bryant. Folks, if you miss any of today's action, ABC 7 will be rebroadcasting each one of their Cubs matchups on the Live Well network. This afternoon's encore of Padres Cubs will be aired in its entirety beginning at 7 p.m. on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions listed there.
3-2 on the ground, fair ball, diving stop, Middlebrooks up with it, throw to first, in time. Wow. For the time being, a fantastic defensive gem by Will Middlebrooks, but the Cubs may want to take another look.
Seen some leather flash down at the hot corner this afternoon. Chris Bryant made a heck of a play. And now Middlebrooks, but it's going to be challenged. Let's take a look. Not surprisingly, Starlin had himself safe. I thought he was safe for the first look. With that look, I think they got him.
The problem with that angle, he looked safe, but you lose the ball. See, you lose the ball into the glove, and the out call matters. It's not a guess. You got to base it on the original call. I don't think we've seen enough to overturn it, as you said.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And this goes back to the conversation we had pretty much all year last year. And it's fun in the ballpark. The fans think that Starlin was safe. But see,
you can't see the spike hitting the base on that
angle. With each replay here in the ballpark, with a new big board, the fans are convinced that Starlin was safe. They're going to be very disappointed if this is not overturned. But there's the conversation we had all last year that I thought for sure this play would never be challenged. These bang-bang plays at first, there's almost never conclusive evidence to overturn.
No, it's the glove and the ball in the back of the glove when the foot hits the bag.
Yeah.
Boy, that is as tight a call as you'll ever see.
I don't think you can overturn it.
So essentially, Bill Welke's call, if it were out or safe, you'd just say there's a good. You'd have to say it's a good call. I mean, it's a total guess. And if he had been called safe, they don't overturn it. Yeah.
I think managers, and we'll see how it plays out, but I think that's when you got to keep in your back pocket that challenge there. And the bang-banger at first.
It is the sixth, so Joe could get a replay later, but the crew chief has to make
right. He can't demand a replay
he
later.
Can request
he loses that bullet.
On the ground to Amarista. High throw. Castillo trying to make second. He better hurry, and he is going to be out.
E6 and then 3-4 on the putout as Wellington tries to get to second base after the errant throw. Now Marista.
Batting next, the pitcher, Jason Hamill.
Routine ground ball to short. And now Marista casts it over the head of Alonso. Somewhere right up there, I'm thinking Wellington's thinking, bad idea.
Yep. The replay thing is kind of funny in a strange way, that it's supposed to kind of change the egregious errors, but it has become about a lot of really close plays like you mentioned. And then people after the replay on Twitter say, but they got it wrong. So the original call they say is wrong, and then the replay call is wrong. So we should have replay of the call. Right?
4-2. Down the rabbit hole we go.
(4-2) as Hamill back to the mound in the seventh. Well, Middlebrooks lined out in his first at bat and hit a 2-run homer to the opposite field in his second at bat as we check out the Toyota home run cam. That was after a 2-out walk to Alonso in the fourth.
Middlebrooks showing that good opposite field power. The Cubs play him pretty much straight up in the outfield.
Bounce to third. It is a fair ball. Fair ball, and Bryant with a strong throw to get him. So Chris has had a good day defensively.
Yeah, and even though he struggled at the plate, nice that he's made some good solid plays defensively as he tries to settle in here at the big league level. He's got a big arm, doesn't he? I mean, he gets a lot on this throw. Strong and true.
Bears Pro Bowl defensive back Tim Jennings will conduct the stretch today as Jerko looks at a strike. Slow start. He's 3 out of 26 to begin the season. Recently out of the lineup for 3 consecutive days, during which he tweaked some mechanics and rolls that one into center. A 1-out single.
Drickle's going to be worth keeping an eye on. You know, his rookie year, he was really, really good. I was talking with some scouts earlier today who saw him as a minor leaguer, and they loved his swing. They feel like he's made some tweaks that have hurt him. Last year, he missed a bunch of time with plantar fasciitis. He had an off year. Finished a little bit better than he started. He's still a young guy. Signed him to a 3 or 4 year deal after that first year. Cup and Schlitter heat up in the bullpen.
Amarista, and then a pinch hitter for Shields. Driven foul. Yangervis Solarte is now on deck. He's a switch hitter. Dale Thayer on the right and Brandon Maurer on the left, chatting with Willie Blair, their bullpen coach. So we mentioned before Neil Ramirez to the DL. Essentially good news, though, with the right shoulder inflammation. No structural damage was found, so that's the good news. Mike Alt also going to the DL. He's got a tiny hairline fracture in his right wrist, probably 3 to 5 weeks. So he has been put in a cast. Not his whole body, just the wrist. And Christian Villanueva has been promoted from Double-A to Triple-A because the Iowa Cubs need a third baseman. One and two on Amarista. Hamill's just gone over 90 pitches on the day. And when you see 2 guys up in the bullpen, you're in the 7th inning. This kind of feels like the empty the tank inning for the starter. Whatever big pitches you have left, you might as well use them.
That's where all the running pays off. Start to get a little tired late in the ball game.
Ground ball into right and a base hit. And the Padres threatening here, 2 on with only 1 out.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitting for the Padres, number 26.
That's going to do it.
Yangervis Solarte.
I believe.
Looks like Joe wants the left-hander Ross Cup. Hamill will exit with a 2-run lead and 2 runners on in the 7th. We'll be back. Brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Beautiful day at the ballpark. Padres and Cubs opening a weekend set. Jason Hamill very good today, leaving with a 2-run lead. So it's up to what has been a terrific bullpen to finish off the Padres.
Hard-throwing lefty Zach Roskup gets the call here. Solarte, the switch hitter, will hit from the right side.
2 on with 1 out and a strike called, 94 on the easy gas from Roskup. So the hands went forward, but apparently Solarte kept the barrel back far enough. Strong wrists. Joe, not a fan of that call. A 1-1. Now 1-2.
94 just threw it right by him. Solarte better from the right side last year. 291 hitter as a right-handed batter. 243 left-handed.
Fly ball, shallow right. Handled by Soler. So Solarte retired by Soler. Well, Madden heading back out as we check in on the bullpen ERA leaders. Brought to you by DeVry University. Cubs leading the way in the National League. And it'll be Brian Schlitter against Will Myers when we come back. Dunkin' Donuts Fan Cam. A reminder, America runs on Dunkin'. Here's Brian Schlitter, product of Maine South High School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
We talked in the pregame that maybe some of these guys would be using higher leverage situations. Neil Ramirez out of action. That's the case here today as Brian Schlitter comes in. Very important situation here in the 7th with a couple men on base.
Facing Will Myers, 2 hits and a strikeout and a cut and a miss. Among the other connections, we've got one on the same team. Will Myers was once traded for James Shields. Kansas City Tampa Bay trade back in December of 2012. Now they're together with the Padres. Schlitter's 0-1. Outside corner 95. It's 0-2.
Started with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up, but typically it's sinkers for Schlitter.
No pitch. Time was called.
Schlitter doesn't really try to fool hitters, throws that sinker a high percentage of the time. Myers had asked for time prior to the delivery.
Actually fine with that. On an 0-2, it might have gotten too much of the plate.
Oh my! Ooh, wow! Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire, early in the ball game had a very generous strike zone off the corners, more so than up and down. This one's on the plate, looked to be good enough. Well, it's in Castile. He's walking off.
That's a strike. Yep.
Yeah. Double fist pumps from the battery mates, but nothing from the home plate umpire.
And actually a good job by Castillo to head to the mound. I don't think that was a planned visit, but once he started walking toward the dugout, I think he decided I don't want to show up Sam Holbrook. So one, two, hit a ton to center. Fowler is back on it, and it is gone. Oh my, what a turn of events. A 3-run homer, and the Padres have the lead 5-4.
Well, you think back to the Middlebrooks home run off Hamill in the 4th. They thought they had him struck out on a pitch down around the knees on the outside corner. So, I mean, this isn't a, oh my goodness, it's right down the middle, there's no way it's a ball, but it's on the plate. Boy, the question was it high enough? That doesn't, ultimately the outcome is based on what you do with the next pitch, and this time Schlitter elevates.
Yep, that's not a good pitch.
He can't live up there.
Yeah, Joe's going to get tossed here. Yep, he's gone. Yeah, Joe only came out, I think, to
there's nobody up.
Yep. Give Holbrook a piece of his mind.
I think the point he's making is, don't tell me that, Sammy. He's upset about the check swing call. And he's probably also making the point that you had a pretty big zone all day long, and now you squeeze me. You squeeze my guy.
You know what, Joe? I just read his lips. He said all 5 runs. So I think it goes back to what you said before about the other home run.
Yep, all 5. Isn't that happy? Jason Hamill's got to be just steaming as his win goes away.
So 2 of those runs charged to the starter, Hamill. Madden's first ejection as a Cubs skipper. And the second he walked out of the dugout, I'm thinking he's not going to head back in without getting the thumb.
Yeah, it was just the whole purpose of that trip was to wait on Sam and then let him have it.
A pop up And Herrera makes a catch. Time for the Mercedes 7th inning stretch.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never come back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some more runs.
For the Padres. And both with 2 outs. Middlebrooks in the 4th and Myers against his former manager in Joe Madden, giving San Diego the lead. Herrera the batter against Dale Thayer here in the bottom of the 7th. Cubs down for the first time today.
Their 4th year in a Padre uniform. He's working for the 5th time here in the early going. Also been a Ray and a Met along the way.
Two and 2 the count. This is a bit like the Reds. You do not want to go to the 9th trailing in a close game against the Padres with Craig Kimbrell, their new closer. Amarista scoops.
Hitting next, the center fielder, Dexter Fowler.
Here's Fowler.
No, the Cubs have already won a couple of games late this year, and just the way the modern bullpens are constructed and used, it's very difficult to come back in the 8th and 9th.
Off the plate inside on Fowler. Interesting, isn't it? Early in the game, we talked about Sam Holbrook's big strike zone, but a couple of strikes that were not called may end up being the story of the ball game. Fouled away, and it's 2-1. Pedro Strop is cranking it up in the Cubs bullpen. Congrats, Pedro. Welcome to a baby girl into the world, Rosalind. on Wednesday. Driven in the air out into deep left. Upton can't make the catch. Actually, Myers got a glove on it. The ball's going to rest in the vines. And Fowler's just going to keep running. But because they didn't reach in, I think he's going to be sent back to second base. That ball lodged in the vines, and they will send it back to second. They did the right thing out there. If you reach in and it moves, then you can keep running. And Dave Martinez wants an explanation, the former Cub. And now the acting manager with Joe Madden ejected.
Well, I think he's going to say that Myers reached for it, but I think when Myers put his hand up against the wall just to brace himself, wasn't really trying to make a play on the ball. But Dave Martinez wants to double check and make sure he does his due diligence here. Going to get with John Hirschbeck and try to press his case.
Now the umpires are going to get together just to make sure.
Yes. Did anybody see it differently? Here's what I saw. Did anybody see it differently?
Watch Myers.
Off his glove. No, nobody tries to make a play on that ball. Myers may have brushed up against the wall after the fact.
According to the ground rules here, I think they got it right. Much to the fans' chagrin, they got it right.
Yeah, they talked amongst themselves, and I think they're going to initiate a crew chief review here on their own to double check. I think. Let's see, they brought the equipment out onto the field. Dave Martinez, I'm good with that as long as you take a look. What do you got? You got the ground? You got the ground rule in front of you?
I don't. I just know that outfielders have been told if that ball is lodged.
Right. Put your hands up, say it's a dead ball.
Yeah. My experience here is that what we just saw, they got it right.
Once they start hunting for it in there, then game on. And base runner could just keep on going.
Ball sticks in vines and bleacher wall, double. Ball comes out of vines, in play. Got it? Seems pretty straightforward. Mm-hmm. And it did stick in the vines.
A lot to digest here today. One-run ball game. Fowler in scoring position. Let's go back. Take a look at these at-bats earlier. There's that borderline pitch from Hamill to Middlebrooks right before he went deep. And then the one to Myers. And again, they're not just, there's no doubt about it, it's right down the middle. That one was right down the middle. You see Slitter's reaction. He knew he made a mistake. And ultimately, that's where the responsibility lies, not on the home plate umpire.
Yeah, and that, because you can see the ball is not referenced in the ground rules. Ball sticks in vines on bleacher wall. That ball is stuck in the vines. There's nothing about how much of the ball you can see as Soler fouls. It is interesting. I believe the ball is still there. They didn't even jump in there and grab it.
Nobody wants to touch it. guarantee if it were a Titleist, somebody would have grabbed it. Good though. It's got this crowd stirred up.
We had one a few years ago where the ball went under a grate in right field. That's also a double. The ball got stuck in the grate. There's a little space between the bottom of the wall and the ground. So that's another quirk along the sidewalls in this ballpark. Here's a pitch, driven foul. Well, the key point here is the tying run is in scoring position with one out. And a couple of guys who've already knocked in runs today, Soler and Rizzo, due up.
Pretty aggressive secondary lead taken by Dexter Fowler. Got Jerko and Thayer's attention.
Foul tip for strike three. Comes Darren Balsley, the pitching coach. Time for our Mercedes drive of the game. Anthony Rizzo with an RBI double. Off the bag and into right.
This is really interesting here. Rizzo up. 2 outs, man in scoring position, a 1-run ball game, base open. Chris Bryant on deck, has struck out all 3 times he's come to the plate today. Balsley, I'm sure that conversation was, you want to just go ahead and put him on. Pitch carefully. He's either looks like they're just going to put him on. So my guess is there was a conversation, because if they just made up their mind in the dugout to put him on, there would have been no meeting.
So the crowd in this spot usually boos the visitors. How can you walk our guy? But in this case, they're cheering because they're walking Rizzo to get to Bryant.
Yeah, and you know, big-time talent seems to rise up in big situations, and it just feels like before this day is over, Chris Bryant's going to do something really special at home plate, and this would be the time. The script is backward so far today. There are questions about his glove. That's been spectacular so far. And he has struggled on the batter's box with 3 strikeouts and 3 trips. Air does not have the command of the repertoire of James Shields.
Here's a pitch to Bryant. High for ball 1. Cubs are down a run. Will Myers with a go-ahead 3-run homer in the top of this inning. Fowler the tying run at second. Rizzo representing the go-ahead run at first. The pitch. It's a strike. Strikeouts in the first, 4th, and 5th. All swinging for Chris Bryant against James Shields, the Padres starter. 1-1 on the ground to third. Middlebrooks will step on the bag, and that will end the inning. So we're going to go to the 8th. Padres still lead by a run. You see what Addison Russell did yesterday in New Orleans, off to a great start, and also now playing a little second base. Shortstop by trade. Cubs are very big on the idea of having defensive versatility, and it might help Addison Russell get to the big leagues sooner by playing a position other than shortstop. Pedro Strop working here in the 8th with his team down a run.
Yeah, I think ultimately Addison Russell is going to be an everyday shortstop in the big leagues, but his quickest path may be as a guy who can play a couple different positions for you. Strop off to an outstanding start here with an ERA of 0.
Kemp with a bouncer to Bryant. Lots of time. 1 away.
Left fielder, Justin Upton.
By the way, Hamill gets a no decision, and James Shields is the pitcher of record for the Padres. He could get the win. He never had a lead while he was actually pitching.
Well, if he does, he got to take Will Myers out for a big steak tonight.
Joaquin Benoit, who has 3 wins already in relief. His job will be to get a hold. Fowler with a late adjustment and has to leave his feet to make the catch.
A big swing by Upton, but it was down off the end of the bat a little bit. Fowler fooled initially, but recovers to make the play. Kind of jarring landing there.
Now Alonso with 2 outs. By the way, happy 58th birthday to our good friend Bruce Miles, who covers the Cubs beat for the Daily Herald, covering the ball game today.
So obviously a lot of media here today for Chris Bryant's debut. And Bruce was saying that when Kerry Wood debuted, it was in Montreal, and he said there were 3 writers there. I think we pay more attention to prospects now than ever before, with all the rating services and all the publicity, social media. I mean, used to be a highly touted kid would come to the big leagues and there'd be some awareness of him, but nowhere near the buzz that there is now. And of course, I think part of it here too is that Chris is part of a bigger story. First, the fact that he didn't make the club out of spring training, and he's part of this wave of great prospects that are showing up here with the Cubs.
Three and 1 to count on Alonso. Middlebrooks, who got a game-tying homer earlier, is on deck. Cubs will have Coghlan, Castro, and Castillo due up. And a very important bottom of the 8th. As we said, you don't want to have to ever face Craig Kimbrell, but especially trailing in the 9th inning.
Alonso selling out on a fastball. Slider by 1.5 feet.
And he walked him ball 4. The Twitter reaction has been pretty one-sided, as you can imagine. People saying they should clarify or change that Vine rule. It rarely comes up. I would also say that the thing I like about the rule, you can see that ball, but I guarantee you if you go out there and actually reach in, it's a lot harder to grab that ball than it appears on television right now.
You ever play the game for plunk? With the little marbles and the sticks?
Yeah.
When a kid, you pull the stick and the marble go down. That would happen with the ball. Hawk used to hang out in there with his French horn.
Now that rule has been on the books.
Yeah, I don't think it needs any
time.
clarification. It's pretty clear.
One and two. It's one of the quirks and the fun things about playing baseball in this ballpark. There goes a runner, huge jump, but it doesn't matter. Caught strike 3 to end the inning. Still 5-4 Padres. Five to 4, the Cubs trail as they will bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Joaquin Benoit went from closer to setup man when the Padres made that blockbuster deal with the Braves beginning of the season, which was what, not even 2 weeks ago? Wasn't that long ago that they made it. A lot of headlines.
Well, that was the one piece, right? A.J. Preller had addressed the offense, the starting pitching, and then figured they needed a little boost in the bullpen, and they were able to pry Kimbrel away from the Braves. Complete the overhaul. So that puts a little pressure on Buddy Black in his 9th year as manager of the Padres. They haven't had a winning season since 2010, I believe. High expectations out in San Diego now. Benoit, he can rush it up there, mid-90s. Slider, good changeup. Pitched to a 1.49 ERA last year, his first year with San Diego. Picked up 11 saves.
Coghlan strikes out swinging. So one away, and it'll bring up Castro.
These Cub hitters are going to have nightmares about changeups after Shields and now Benoit. That's another dandy. th Cub to strike out this afternoon.
Line and caught by Amarista, retires his counterpart. 2 outs.
As a plate, the catcher, Castillo.
Pretty well struck, but a fairly easy play for Amarista.
Hector Rondon up. Montero on deck. 2-0 on Castillo. Montero would hit in the pitcher's spot. Here it comes. Popped him up. Alonso's got it in foul territory. Benoit 1-2-3 in the 8th. Will go to the 9th. 5-4 San Diego.
Brought to you by Las Vegas.
Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7 is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. There is what has become an infamous baseball in this ballgame. Ball hit by Dexter Fowler in the 7th inning. Lodged in the vines, got a double out of it, even though he kept on running. Miguel Montero is in to catch. Rondon in to pitch, which means Montero will lead off in the 8th spot in the bottom of this inning. And a strike on Jed Jerko.
Kimbrel up in the Padres pen. He'll have the bottom of the 9th. Unless they score a bunch of runs here in the top.
Is it safe to say he's gotten off to the best start to a career as a closer in baseball history? He and Chapman would be 1-1A probably, right?
I thought you were talking about like this year. Or something spectacular.
No, I meant in his career.
Yeah.
Ooh. Herrera with an error to start the inning.
Like a fairly routine play. Didn't stay down. Play for a run time for Buddy Black and the Padres. Amarista will likely be up there trying to bunt. Play a little hit and run game with him.
When Kimbrel starts the bottom of the 9th, it'll be his 300th career appearance. He has a 1.41 career earned run average. Makes Aroldis Chapman's 226 seem really high, even though it's not. Runner goes, line drive to Bryant. It'll be a double play. 5-3, 2 outs.
A little roll of the dice there by the Padres. Finding the base runner. Amarista does what he's supposed to do. Put the ball in play, hit it hard, but fortunately for the Cubs, right at Chris Bryant, the rest is easy.
Will Venable will bat for Benoit.
Number 25, Will Venable.
Venable relegated to a bench role now with all the offseason acquisitions. He's only made 1 start. 2 for 8 on the year with a home run. On the outside corner.
Rondon doesn't have the resume of Kimbrel or Chapman, some of the other elite closers in the game, but he's got the stuff. He keeps doing what he's been doing the last half of last year and off to a great start here this year. He's going to be in that conversation.
A little comeback action, but not enough. 3-2. Myers on deck. According to our Xfinity pitch tracks, he could have gotten that call. Bounced foul.
Hard throwing Hector in the second half of last year, post All-Star break. 18 saves and 19 tries with an 0.62 ERA. Not that he was bad prior to the break. It's dominant stuff.
Yep.
29 innings. He issued just 2 walks while striking out 24. For the year, he allowed 2 home runs in 63 innings. So important for those late inning guys to keep the ball in the ballpark. And all around the strike zone here. Finish off pesky Will Venable.
If you just joined us, man, you've missed a lot. Cubs have had a couple of different leads today. Kris Bryant making his major league debut, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but has had a perfect day defensively. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So last chance, bottom of the 9th, trailing by a run. Montero will take his first plate appearance today against fireballing Craig Kimbrel.
Kimbrel 3 for 3 in save opportunities his last 3 appearances, as a matter of fact. 5 times, an inning each time. Fastball, upper 90s, and a curveball, 100 of 108.
Yeah, you got to gear up. 97.
And I'm a guy, we've talked about this a lot. I think the save is an overrated statistic. I think the way managers use closers is suspect at times, but well, you have to respect those numbers. My goodness. .47 out of 51 for Kimbrel last year. His final year with the Braves.
On the ground, only one guy over there, and that is Middlebrooks. So it's a 5-3 ground out. And it'll be Arizmendi Alcantara for Herrera.
So the debate here is Herrera's been in the flow of the game. It's tough to come off the bench cold to face a guy like Kimbrel, but Alcantara much more likely to do damage than Herrera. Catch up to one of these Kimbrel fastballs, he's capable of knocking it out of the ballpark. Probably liking a bat where you can count on seeing some fastballs. I've seen a lot of soft stuff.
Strike one. Oh, 2. He can spin it too.
A bounce curveball or high heater here. Sharp breaking ball and enough of a swing from Alcantara.
So it will be up to Dexter Fowler. Been in this spot before.
Center fielder, Dexter Fowler.
Well, hanging slider from LaTroy Hopkins, and that could be the game winner.
Into center and a base hit. So that's 3 consecutive hits now for Fowler after an 0-2 start today. And it'll give Soler a chance.
Waste no time, picks on that first fastball, gets the head out in front of it. Good ABs in a row for Fowler. Single, double, single, threat to steal. See how the Cubs choose to play it. They're still there in the box. .99, but a little bit outside. Padres playing no doubles in the outfield. Upton is almost on the warning track.
Fowler runs. The pitch is low. The throw there is late. The tying run is now in scoring position and a 2-0 count on Soler.
I love it. I love the aggressive play. So hard to put hits together against a guy like Kimbrel. This game ends at a caught stealing at second base, so be it.
Dexter 3 for 3 on the year. So now any base hit to the outfield ties the game with his speed and 2 outs in the inning. The 2-0 pitch. Now 3-0. Rizzo on deck. Fowler, cool as a cucumber in this spot. Hit the big home run the other day in Denver and a 2-out single and a stolen base here today to keep the Cubs in it. At least for the time being. 3-1. Brooks gloves, and the Padres come back and hang on late. And a wild ball game here at Wrigley Field. Joe Madden ejected, not happy with a couple of non-strike calls that were followed by home runs, and the Padres escape with a 5-4 win.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better example than today of a game of inches with those borderline calls that went against the Cubs, those ball strike calls. And both of them coming before big home run swings by the Padres.
Chris Bryant's debut. 4 at-bats, 3 strikeouts, 0 for 4. Very good defense, but maybe he can get a good night's sleep and start his career in earnest tomorrow.
Yeah, just the important thing, just getting that first one under his belt.
All right, 5-4 the final. We'll have more from Wrigley Field in a moment.